In recent times, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has consistently exhibited commitment, dedication, and energy in carrying out the business of governance for the progress of Lagos State. So, let's now put you on speed on recent significant engagements of Mr. Governor from the Governor's Office on the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. And first, from the Governor's Office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, recently signed the Lagos State Electricity Bill into law with the key cabinet members, key stakeholders and players in the Lagos State power sector in attendance. For the Governor, the bill is a major game changer for the rapid socio-economic development of the state.
This is a bill that we need to, one, commend and thank ourselves, but more importantly, to let the Lagosians be aware of what we're doing here today and to bring all critical stakeholders together. It's not a bill where you want to do in your room and put under your table. It's a bill that we believe is going to change the economic value, the social economic benefit of our citizens in Lagos. So that's why we're appealing with the gentleman of the press to give this significant bill signing the publicity that it deserves. But to start is first to thank the honorable members of our House for tenaciously taking the pain and the time to have produced this bill. We say that it's not sometimes it's a race for the swiftest, but we wanted to do a good job. We wanted to take our time. We wanted to learn from mistakes that others would have gotten involved in. We wanted to understand the full scope and the extent of what we're trying to get into. So we took our time, and we're happy that over the last 12 months or so, or even more, we've been able to do extensive work on this. So I want to, on behalf of the people and government of Lagos State, thank through the Speaker, the Chairman of the House Committee on this bill, but also other members of the House for working with us tirelessly, on this journey, and I think they deserve a round of applause.
The Lagos State Governor, on behalf of the government, handed over several checks as a mark of showing faith and keeping to the government's promise to compensate Lagosians whose lands were acquired for critical projects across the state. The governor, who was very appreciative of their significant support, noted that the need to reward them is of great strategic importance, considering its long-term impact on the state's development.
As we fulfill a vital promise to the citizens and the people of Lagos, a promise that is rooted on fairness, a promise that is rooted on partnership, but more importantly, a promise that is rooted on citizens' progress. Today, it marks not just the disbursement of compensation. It is indeed a powerful testament to the partnership between citizens and government, a partnership that shapes a future of shared prosperity by honoring our commitments. We reaffirm our unwavering dedication to building a Lagos that serves and uplifts its people. We can say that it's a bit delayed, but it's not a denial. There's a lot of mistrust and distrust and people not believing government when they say things. Our government want to put our heart to the chest and say that we're different. We're different in all ways. We're different in all spheres.
And still from the Governor's Office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was in attendance of the 2024 graduation ceremony of over 2,000 graduates from the Lagos State Technical and Vocational Education Board. In his congratulatory message, the Governor noted the significance of the event.
The significance of technical and vocational education cannot be overstated. Institutions like LASVET equip young Lagosians and Nigerians with practical, hands-on, industry-related skills that meet the demands of an evolving economy. Across trades such as engineering, construction, ICT, business and creative art. Our graduates have acquired the right and the relevant tools, not just to participate in the workforce, but also to transform through innovation and dedication. These achievements align perfectly with our own administration's agenda, which is committed under education and technology pillar of the Teams Plus agenda. By investing in the skills and capacity of our young, dynamic youth, we're building a foundation for a prosperous, inclusive, and self-reliant society. You hear the comments on the video of that young lady who said to us that she had a discussion with her father, and today, not only can she be self-reliant, she can also even improve the economic power of herself and her family from a young age. And so beyond this individual accomplishment, technical and vocational education drives community development. It reduces instant unemployment, and it ensures that our graduates are competitive globally. It has shown to improve employability, and it has shown to foster great sense of entrepreneurship. Many of our graduates here today will step into the world as job creators.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was a special guest at the inaugural Isimi Lagos Festival at the Isimi Lagos Wellness and Polo Country Estate. Accompanied by some key members of his cabinet, Mr. Governor was very impressed with the state of creative organization of the festival and development of the estate. Described it as a new redefined hospitality, wellness, work-play environment, and of course a corridor that will boost tourism and hospitality in Lagos.
At this event, at this venue today, it is the birth of the new redefine of hospitality in Lagos. It will be the birth of a different kind of wellness, a different kind of work-play environment. And we're indeed happy that this is happening in our time. So we're going to see a lot of the new Lagos that we're envisioning. And so Isimi Lagos has taken the first step, to beginning to redefine the birth of a new Lagos that we have envisioned. So I want to, on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment of Lagos, to thank Wale and his entire team, to thank the chairman of our local government, who also is the chief landlord of this area, to thank our royal fathers for coming out here to give a royal blessing to this event, to thank all of our polo entries, all of our captains of industry that have taken our time to be here this afternoon to come and see what we're doing in Lagos.
And still coming from the governor's office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, alongside some of his cabinet members, paid a walking visit to the Lagos State Food Security Systems and Central Logistics Hub at Ketu Ejiri in Epe, Lagos. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu took a detailed and extensive tour of the project, explained the futuristic and strategic agricultural benefits and value of the project to Lagos State.
It was born out of our thoughts 4 or 5 years ago, where we said that the minimum we can do, even if we are not an agro-producing state, is to have our destiny to our hand. COVID that happened in 2020 taught us a lesson, because it was during that time we saw that there was what we call global disruption, a complete disruption chain of logistics, of food and everything. You remember at that time that if you don't have anything in your house, you just continue to pray to God, right? But even after that, we've seen global disruption based on wars here and there. And so we came up with a strategy. I said that Lagos should be able to, on a large scale, on a very, very large scale, protect itself from food security. And we did mention at that time that food insecurity was becoming as important as even a normal threat to life, a normal security. And now we can see that indeed that idea or that vision or that audacious move that we made 3 years ago, which we started 2 years ago, in our view, is on the right course.
And still coming from the governor's office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, also took time out to inspect the psychiatric hospital in Ketu Ejiri, Ekpe, Lagos, to ascertain the level of progress made so far on the project. After a thorough tour guide of the facility, the governor explained to the press the potentials, amenities, and medical importance of the facility.
Lagos State's Mental Health Institute is a psychiatric hospital and a rehabilitation center here at Ketu Ejiri. It just borders with the food and logistics hub. So the phase one of it is a 500-bed health facility. And you have seen that all the structures for phase one are out, which will include, the 500-bed accommodation in different sizes. It will include consultation rooms, dormitories, dining rooms, kitchen, residence for the health facility, all forms of, recreational activity. So it's a massive institute which is sitting on about 25 hectares of land. So it will be an end-to-end, psychiatric center. We believe that this aspect of health delivery is equally important.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, recently received in audience the Honorable Minister of State for Works, Mohammed Bello Goroyo, who paid him a courtesy visit alongside with management team of FEMA. The purpose of the visit by the Minister of State for Works is centered on monitoring and commissioning key infrastructural projects in Lagos, as well as soliciting for the governor's continuous collaboration and partnership.
Your Excellency, the purpose of our visit is to inform you, to bring the message of Mr. President, our leader, our father, the father of the nation, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. And the message is very clear: to come and solicit your support and collaborate with the subnational, that is the state, in taking the issue of fixing the infrastructure of our nation very seriously. Your Excellency, this is an infrastructure government that has prioritized the issue of infrastructure very, very seriously, has taken the bold steps. And Your Excellency, it will interest you to know that we have commissioned about 212 solar street light projects in Isaleko, sorry for the pronunciation, which will boost a lot of socio-economic activities and curb the menace of insecurity around the area. And Your Excellency, it will also interest you to know that there's another innovative project that was embarked upon by the MD at Ijora. Is about 300 meters. It was a slump close to Apapa where the road was blocked. So we have been able to almost rehabilitate 70% of the portion. And today I have inspected the place. The work is ongoing and there is a lot of economic activities going on. Economic activities is boosting around the area. So I have given a marching order to MD that before the end of this year, he must make sure that the project is completed and commissioned.
In response, Governor Sanwo-Olu assured the minister of the state government's continuous support.
You are welcome, and that you should take it for granted, that this is home. We will always support the central government. We will also continue to work well
with your ministry and agency that you're overseeing. FEMA is more or less like an household name, here in Lagos. We know them very well from with themselves and the Federal Controller of Works. They all have different roles that they play in the state, and will continue to expect, that to happen going forward. I want to say that we understand that, for any government to truly, really be able to signpost and show, what it has done for its people, infrastructure, is the major driver of that. That's, what I say to people is that, whilst, the poor interventions are real, health, education, people might choose not to use those services. People might choose not to go to your school. People might choose not to go to your hospital. But people cannot choose not to use your road. They cannot choose not to use your bridge. So those are infrastructure that it cannot be personalized to anybody, and it cuts across, everybody.
The governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, presented the 2025 budget proposal to the Lagos State House of Assembly on the 21st of November this year, which he termed a budget of sustainability, a blueprint for continuity, resilience, and shared prosperity for Lagosians. The budget, which was encapsulated in 5 pillars, is focused on advancing socio-economic benefits as it relates to progressive projections to actualize the set objectives of the government's policy initiatives, programs, and projects to drive and sustain the Greater Lagos developmental agenda for the benefits of Lagosians.
This budget is structured around 5 key pillars designed to ensure economic stability, environmental stewardship, and a social equity. Infrastructure sustainability is one, economic diversification is another, social inclusion and human capital development is one again, environmental sustainability, and finally, governance and institutional reforms. We believe this allows us to elaborate on all the 5 pillars. Infrastructure sustainability. Mr. Speaker, continuous investment in infrastructure are the backbone of any development agenda. That Greater Lagos, we envision, will emerge on the back of high-quality infrastructure that keeps pace with the growing population. Our focus is therefore on ensuring the durability, the functionality, and the adaptability of our fiscal assets to meet the ever-growing demands of our people. Under economic diversibility, to secure a resilient economy, we must reduce over-reliance on a single sector. This budget emphasizes the development of non-oil sector, such as technology, agro-businesses, manufacturing, and the creative industry. It's not left out entertainment and tourism. Through our Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and other initiatives, we will support all of the micro, small, and medium enterprises with financing, with training, and with market linkages. Under social inclusion and human capital development, at the heart of all responsible and responsive governance lies its people, and their interests and well-being indeed. Without people, there is no democracy. This pillar prioritizes investment in education, in healthcare, and social welfare to ensure that no one, and when we truly mean no one, is left behind. We are expanding access to quality education and healthcare by constructing more facilities, equipping them, and hiring and motivating qualified personnel.
And still from the governor's office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was the guest speaker at the recently held 36th Convocation Lecture Ceremony of Yaba College of Technology in Lagos. During his speech, the governor congratulated thousands of the graduates for their academic accomplishment, posited that the lecture theme, Exportable Alternatives for Nigeria's Economic Recovery, was notably apt, reflects and speaks to the current administration's efforts to reposition the country through various innovative but audacious socio-economic and political policy initiatives, programs and projects to build and grow a better nation.
The theme of this lecture, Developing Export Alternatives for Nigeria's Economic Recovery, is as urgent as it is pertinent as we grapple with the microeconomic reforms shaping our nation's future. The question of export diversification has been much critical. There is no doubt that Nigeria has the potential to be one of the richest and one of the most prosperous countries in the world, and we say that very seriously. We are blessed with human and natural resources to make this happen. But for a long time, we have grossly underperformed this potential, and there is national consensus that enough is enough. We need to rise up and convert all of our potentials into reality. Our president, my leader and my father, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has emerged as the most auspicious moment in our national journey, a time when, more than ever before, very tough and difficult decisions need to be taken to shift the country away from the path of economic underperformance onto the enduring path of productivity and prosperity. Since he assumed office, the president has been taking those decisions with uncommon boldness and courage, and he has accompanied the decision-making with consistent call for understanding and patience from his entire citizenry, combined with the rollout of various measures aimed at cushioning the effect of these reforms in our lives, in our various households, in our businesses, in and around the country. As we gradually but steadily make our way into the phase of recovery, and I use it because I'm aware and I know it. For people that do not know, a year and a half ago, the entire external reserve of the country was just barely 31 billion. Today it has crossed over 40 billion. So we might not see it immediately, but I want to say that gradually, as they face recovery, one of the most important things we can do as a people and as a nation is to increase the focus on our export capacity and potential.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was conferred with the Fellowship of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria at the 59th CIBN Annual Bankers Dinner in Lagos. The governor was appreciative of the honor, promised to be a good ambassador of the institute, and equally ensured that Lagos experienced great developmental progress under his administration.
For me, as your governor of Lagos State, I stand here truly proud. First, on behalf of my brother, Mr. Oluyemi Kadoso, FCIB, and myself, I want to thank the President and Chairman of Council, and of course, the body of the fellows for bestowing on us this very unique fellowship. We do not take it for granted. We know how difficult and how important you put on the fellowship of this great institute, and want to assure you that as we have taken our oath of affirmation, that we will ensure that the integrity, professional ethics that this institute stands for will what we will hold on to. We will not disappoint you. We will ensure that the founding fathers who are all seated here of this institute will see us as a willing tool, as people that will uphold the integrity that it stands for, that will uphold that professionalism which the institute stands for. And I want to thank our President and Chairman of Council for your great job, for the ones you are doing. We want to wish you the very, very best. We wish that during your tenure, the institute will get to a higher level. I want to thank you again for giving us this honor. As the governor, on a parting shot, I want to assure you as the citizens of this city that we will do everything within our means to ensure that Lagos is irreversible.
And finally, from the governor's office, the court's visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu by the Bulgarian ambassador to Nigeria, Yanko Yordanov, afforded both parties to further reiterate and emphasize key areas of collaboration and partnership between Bulgaria and Nigeria. Discussions also centered on futuristic plans, opportunities, and efforts to push for more developmental partnerships between both countries.
Everybody knows what is the biggest connection between Bulgaria and Lagos, which is actually the biggest connection between Bulgaria and Nigeria, which is the National Theatre here. But of course there are a lot of other things that are uniting us and that potentially can unite us as well. Let me just enumerate one of the most important things that are currently ongoing between Bulgaria and Lagos state in terms of trade and development, in terms of possible investments, and last but not the least, creative economy. So just 1 month ago, for the first time since decades, Bulgarian companies participated in the Lagos Trade International Fair, and it was in a very particular sector of the cooperation. Is the agriculture and agricultural equipment. We are very grateful for this opportunity because immediately after, these companies of Bulgaria started doing business in Nigeria, in Lagos in particular. I think this is a clear follow-up from the Lagos Chamber of Commerce business mission to Bulgaria held a year and a half ago, and a successful Bulgaria-Nigeria forum in Sofia in April last year. Let me also say that I think football is something that is clearly on Nigeria-Bulgaria agenda. Unfortunately for us, fortunately for you, you always won on us. But this time around I have a positive news for Bulgaria too. The football club Mavlon, whose academy is in Lagos, spent 2 months training in Bulgaria in October and November. And we are very encouraged by the results, and I'm sure that the number of Nigerian footballers in Bulgaria will dramatically increase. We are also very pleased that since yesterday, the Flying Eagles national coach is in Bulgaria for 2 weeks training, just to prepare to give us the opportunity to prepare him better for preparing your team to win the African Cup of Nations, which I'm sure of it. Also, Bulgarian companies are in your aerospace development activities. A Bulgarian company, Fly to Sky, has already established a very good cooperation with a lot of Nigerian airlines, most of them based in Lagos as well. In terms of trade volumes, we have registered the biggest increase in the history of Bulgaria-Nigeria relationship this year around. So for the first 6 months, it's almost 200% increase in the trade volumes, which actually is due mostly to import from Nigeria to Bulgaria.
Having listened to you, it's clear to us that Lagos, former federal capital, has a long history, not only with Sofia, but with the country of Bulgaria, and you've taken time to enumerate and to expatiate on this. I mean, so these are relationships that yourselves and ourselves can indeed build upon, and we're beginning to see those attempts at improving those relationships better. Lagos sits at a very critical, point in our country. You come here, and every time, and it looks like hope to you, because indeed it's a commercial economic center of the country. I'm sure you will see a lot of similarity with Sofia, with your capital and the rest of it. So we were happy that you see that in us, but I think really is for us to be able to push the needle, right? And you've said it. There are clear areas where we can advance conversation. The Honorable Commissioner for
Commerce, Trade and Investment is here. I'm sure you've met with her, or she had met with you a few times. So on the both, relationship, we can use her as a point of contact in terms of ensuring that even the companies that are already attempting or have started relationship, here in Lagos, she can handhold them and ensure that there are no red tapes and there's real ease of settling down, ease of doing business. I mean, she can make that happen, and through her as well, and see what level of activity we can activate on the agricultural side, especially as regards, exchange programs and learning, opportunities that are bound.
And that wraps up a very comprehensive catalogue of recent official engagements of the Lagos State Governor. Join us in our subsequent broadcast for fresh updates from the Governor's office. Thanks for watching.